When I tell y'all I am tired as hell from the Beyonce concert, oh Lord, she worked us, but it was worth the work. But today we're not here to discuss Beyonce, but if you do want to check out some of my experience, I posted a bunch of shorts and there's a live recap on my channel. Go check that out. But today I'm giving a low effort approach to discussing this B. Simone thing because I feel like the take is so obvious here. But as 2 degrees in psychology, I want to give a different perspective that I don't feel like people are touching on enough. Because B. Simone, although she is a internet personality, she's also a human being with feelings and an identity that we will never know as onlookers. Only she knows who she is truly on the inside. And it's funny because she may not know who she is. And that's the point of my discussion today. I feel like I'm not the biggest B. Simone fan, so maybe in the comments y'all can give me more information, more details on her. But I'm just gonna go based off of the headlines that I've seen about her so far throughout the years that I've known who she is, right? And starting with what most recently happened with this out of touch, tone deaf, you know, plea for sympathy, it kind of came off as that she was trying to do on this podcast with a friend. And it's just funny because the cognitive dissonance was so awkward in that interview. At least for me, that's what I picked up on. The fact that she's saying like, oh, I've done for all of these people, but I didn't protect myself. And so now, I'm really guarded when people are coming to me and asking for things, da, 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 da. And the friend was like, well, when I was broke down, you wasn't there for me. And so it was like this, it's like, ooh. And like, so in that moment, I'm not saying either one of them are right, because even with the friend low key, I was just like, well, like, damn, that's a lot to throw in her face. Like, I don't know if they were live or if they uploaded it later, but like, she threw that in her face, like, in the podcast. And so, but I also think that speaks to the type of person that B. Simone is off camera, right? And so this friend was probably, genuinely irritated in that moment. It's just like, I know you did not just say how giving you are, but when I was down and out, you didn't do anything. But then the friend reframed it and was all like, oh, well, that wasn't your responsibility. Well, why did you say all of that? And so I kind of beat that. And I was like, okay, well, she definitely had that. She wanted to get that off because she felt like, B. Simone, you're not going to sit on my podcast or whoever podcast it was and tell me that you're so giving. But as a close friend of yours, I didn't have any resources from you. And so it's just like, okay, B. Simone, this is directly contradicting your giving persona that you claim to have, right? And so the tone deaf thing that I want to talk about is like when she was like, oh, well, I couldn't shop at Bojangles. I don't know what the hell that is. I don't even know what the hell that is. She had to go to H&M. I was like, girl, first of all, notice your privilege. As a fat person, I can't even shop at H&M. They don't even carry my size. Like, and as a person who grew up very poor, growing up, my mama would have to go to Goodwill or get hand-me-downs from neighbors who had kids just so we could have clothes. And I was happy for that, especially if they had some cute stuff that they were giving us. Like, I was grateful for that. So to hear somebody who has had the income of millions before cry about it being decreased to 10K a month, baby, you're still making more than a lot of people in this world. Like, and I get it when you get accustomed to a certain lifestyle, but it's like, honey, like, where was this at when, like, where was this at when you were in the millions, right? And see, that's why it's like, you can't let clout, money, or any of those things change you or change your perspective of life. Because as a person who's going through my own personal struggle now, I've had highs, I've had lows, but for me, it's more so realizing that I've had less before. So I don't know what B. Simone background is. Maybe she came from middle class, who knows? But it's like, it's clear that she has this air of privilege on her to the point where she doesn't even realize that, honey, being able to shop at H&M is a privilege. Right. It's a privilege. It's still a privilege. It's like we have so many privileges. Even in our lowest moments, we have a lot of privileges, really. And like, I don't want to make this about gratitude and all of that shit, but like literally, like just being grateful and having gratitude for what you do have says a lot. And I think maybe if we were in a different climate socially and politically, this wouldn't have been such a backlash thing for B. Simone, because we have a bunch of celebrities who always do this, want to cry when they lose a million of their $2 million. Like, nobody gives a shit, bitch. You're not helping nobody out really with that. And I don't feel bad for you. Like, okay, go get you a job. That's what V said. Go get you a job, girl. Like, literally, just go get you a job. Like, you're just gonna have to humble yourself and whatever. Like, and I think that speaks a lot to like how we see money and the access to money and what that does for people and their self-esteem and their self-image. Because really, this is about B. Simone's self-esteem. It's not really about her really lacking in any way. It's just the fact that she can't keep up this image and this persona of somebody who's a millionaire. Like it and I just think that's very interesting. And like, to dig a little bit deeper into her psychology, I think it's interesting how she tried to do that rebrand. And mind you, like I said, I was never really big on her. She always kind of gave off fake to me. So I never, like, she just wasn't my type of content creator. I just never was looking for her content. That's why this video is so low effort. Like, I really don't care about her like that. But I wanted to talk about it. Because I think her rebrand that she tried to do from, you know, being on Wild 'N Out, things like that, to now being a Bible thumper, Jesus this, Jesus that. I just find it really interesting. And like, people who are grifters, they always gonna go with what's the popular thing right now, because it's not necessarily about being authentic and being genuine to things that they really stand for. It's just finding whatever's gonna make them the most money. And plus, she needed that rebrand after she had those allegations of, what was it, plagiarism? Yeah, plagiarism from blogs, things like that. So, child, it just seems like, tying back to my leading point, like, she doesn't really know who she is. And I don't know how early she came into fame, but I know she was pretty young. And so maybe a part of that is, you know, capitalism is involved here, because not only is she building a persona, she's also building a brand. So her money is involved in this. So I get why a lot of the way that she's navigating this looks like very narcissistic, and people are saying, oh, she's a narcissist, a vulnerable narcissist, and all this stuff. As a psychologist, I'm not diagnosing her. I haven't sat with her, had a conversation with her, did an intake, none of that. I haven't had any sessions with her, so I'm not diagnosing her with shit. But what I will say is that I could see narcissism popping up in this way because of the way the industry is, and how money and stability and safety being involved in how the world perceives you is very important. And that's why I'm building my platform based on my authenticity, and not giving a fuck what none of y'all think about me, because I was doing this shit for free before I was monetized, okay? Send a super chat, send a super thanks. I appreciate it, but bitch, I'm gonna say and be who I am, because that's the coolest thing, to get paid for being who you are. But if you didn't know who you were from the jump, and you were just kind of figuring it out based on what people already liked, then I can see why B. Simone is constantly in these situations, constantly under fire, constantly seen as fake. And yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about this. And for people that are her fans, probably that parasocial relationship, you know, and her feeling like, I really gotta show up, I'm supposed to be this person. Like, once you build a brand, you're building an image, and people are supporting that brand and that image. And so it's hard to rebrand. It's very hard to rebrand. So I get that. And the fact that she's had to do it several times just makes her look even worse. But y'all have to realize, like, it's really the system. I'm not saying she's a perfect person or that she doesn't deserve any backlash, but like, let's be real. The most things that I will hold her accountable for is her out of touch comment about not being able to shop at Bojangles. Like, girl, nobody give a fuck. You will be okay. You'll be okay. You know, I'm nitpicky about them. I am nitpicky. Bitch, me too. I could use $10K a month. I really could. Y'all have a good day.